And welcome back to a brand new episode of Passion Beer. Nick's got something for us all the way out from New Mexico.
So yeah, I picked it up. I picked it up in New Mexico. It's from Odell, so that's Colorado. But I got their Saboteur. It's their brown ale, aged in Brett. And I think
Brett Brown Ale.
Brett Barrel Brown Ale.
Yeah. Nice.
But yeah, it's supposed to be a more of a brown ale with like a little sour twist on the end. Cool. So I haven't had it yet. So let's crack it on open and see how it goes.
Yeah. What are we sitting at? 10%? Something around those?
Pretty darn close.
Close. Yeah.
Pretty darn close.
I mean, you got a nice dark brown body here.
A nice
with a huge head. I mean,
big 3-finger fluffy head on there.
Evidence of carbonation for sure.
You know what? It may be the lighting, but I think your head is a tad bit darker than mine.
Yeah, I mean it's it's definitely off white. Could be in the tan realm for sure.
But the one thing that sits a little weird at me is this aroma.
Yes.
Honestly, I'm having a hard time placing a finger on it. Usually I can find out. Like, oh man, that smells just like this food or fruit or something like that. But this is just, I mean, you do get a lot of the sour and stuff, but I don't
know if you get sour.
It's more the brown ale, and then
I think you get this
there's that
nice
sour twist on it. You don't get that.
I think there's a funky twist. I wouldn't say it's sour. I would say it's kind of more that like. From what you get from Brett, this kind of funky nature to it. Not necessarily like a tart or sourness, but I think there's. And
I think you're right. I think a lot of it has to do with my association with sours and Brett.
Yeah.
There's
a nice woody flavor. There's a nice like barrel flavor or aroma rather. There's a nice. I get like a kind of like a caramel flavor, not necessarily like a chocolate or like you would expect for a Flanders brown or red. It's not anything like that. It's really more muted and more malty.
For lack of a better term, it's definitely an interesting aroma.
Yeah, it's really hard to place for sure. I mean, I think that's definitely one thing to say. It's really different. I mean,
it is different.
It is. Yeah.
So dive in and try it.
Yeah, why don't we?
All right. Cheers.
Yeah. See, there's not really a tart or sourness at all.
Mm-mm.
What it is, it's the Brett. I mean, I think the Brett lays this really kind of funky overlay to this kind of base. Almost a brown. I mean, it's pretty much just a traditional brown ale base. It tastes to me.
Yeah, you're exactly right there, Shane. You get the brown ale. It's very stereotypical, solid brown ale. Nothing out of the ordinary.
There's really nothing complex as far as the brown ale base goes.
And it's very similar to a brewery from Alaska, Anchorage Brewery, that does a bunch of different beers
with Brett in them.
With Brett.
Yeah.
So this, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if the label changed and it came from Anchorage Brewing.
Right.
But no, it's definitely very interesting though, because you do get that funkiness from that Brett.
Yep.
But it's not that puckeredness or anything that you'd expect out of a sour.
It's this very earthy, funky kind of. I don't want to say hay-like because I don't get that as I do with some more like saisons. Yeah, but I mean it's kind of it's different. It's I'm having a hard time kind of feeling it out.
I have a hard time placing it because particularly brown ales. I mean, not my favorite style by any means, and I'll just throw that out there. I mean, for something that's been bottle conditioned specifically with Brett, this is a interesting take on that brown ale style. And
I gotta say, for 10% too, I mean, you don't taste that at all.
It's
very well
smooth and easy. Yeah, very easy to drink. No alcohol. Very well masked. But overall, it's not a bad brown ale at all. It's got enough of an interesting take on it to make it worth picking up.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, I would say if the Brett weren't there, I don't know if I would pick it up. I think the Brett adds just this extra layer of complexity to it that just kind of makes it
different enough.
Different enough and something above a regular, just kind of a base brown ale for sure.
Absolutely. If I have to give this a rating right now, probably going to fall in line right around an 85. The reason being, it's a nice, solid brown ale. No faults there.
Right.
It's a nice take with the Brett. It's just not my style.
Yep. Completely
so
agree.
It's hard to give them a lower rating. It's hard to give them a higher rating just because of my particular taste.
I mean, as soon as you said that, I was right there with an 84 in my mind before you even said that. I think it's good for the brown ale base, and then this Brett just kind of gives it something a little bit extra. Like you said, brown ales aren't my go-to. If they have something a little added, I kind of like them a little bit more, and I think this does it well. Again, like you said, is it something you'd run out and buy a case of? No, but I think one bottle is good to try.
So Shane, being the beer trader out of the hardcore beer trader out of the group, would you specifically seek this out in a trade?
No.
Okay. All right.
No.
But if you do have the opportunity, pick up a bottle.
Yep.
Don't go out of your way for it, but definitely check it out. It's worth the price of the bottle, and definitely. I mean, I love Odell's. They do a phenomenal job on a lot of their beers. So hats off to them.
Yeah, really good stuff. I mean, it
wasn't right up my alley, but
not up your alley, but it's still a very solid beer. I mean,
absolutely,
and especially for 10%, I'm kind of surprised and pleased in the same token.
Absolutely.
So.
Well, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Passion Beer. Nick here with Shane, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.